What is up, y'all? This is Marshall Lee of DonkeyJawProjects.com, and this is the Working Artist Vlog. It's Monday morning, about 5:30, 5:45, somewhere around there, in the morning, and I just wanted to give you guys an update, show you where I've been, what I've been doing for the last week or so. I can't remember exactly everything like for sure that I showed you, but I'm going to show you where I'm at and like what the progress is with Big Rath. I've been just focusing on Big Rath for now, but I'm hoping, to get onto Glyph as well soon. And yeah, so this past week has been kind of a rough one. We had a funeral, and so that has been going on, all the different things surrounding that. So, it is what it is. I don't know what to say about it. It's not, someone super close to us, but sort of is. It's weird. It's hard to say. But anyways, we're doing all right, but we're just doing our thing. So I'm not sure where we left off with some of these different things, but I was working on Amali before. I know I did show this stuff. What I'm going to do is take this picture of Amali, shrink it down to these sizes, and continue working. I like this, but I went from this, which was more cartoony, to this, which is more realistic, and I want somewhere kind of in between. And I also need her to have a little bit more of definitely a girly feel, but she's kind of already got that to a certain degree, but also more of a kind of sci-fi feel as well. So somewhere around there. I've been kind of going with this as the hair, but I'm not even 100% for sure. I'll probably do some more drawings like this off of reference, and then just keep sketching. What I'm finding out with character design is to just keep sketching until you get there. I can't help but really love these couple things right here where I was like playing around with the Mickey Mouse proportions. So I still want to be able to capture that kind of energy, in those kind of proportions. So this is what I was working on. This is kind of skipping ahead a bunch of days, but I think this is about where the design of Thumper is going to be. And, again, I'm just playing with different colors to see which one's best. You guys can let me know what you think. I've already kind of put this out to some people and showed it. But it doesn't hurt to get more opinions, right? So I really like some of these colors. It might still even be a variation, a little bit different than even any of these. Oh, that's just something else. I don't know. I could talk about this a little bit. With this Big Rath logo, these little spiky things were going up too far, so there was like a lot of negative space right here, and it didn't really work for like a cover. This is just kind of a mock-up of a cover. So I shortened them, so the logo is going to have a little bit shorter spiky things. Now it fits more as like one rectangle, and I think that fits the comic book format better, because if you have a lot of negative space up there, you're losing a lot of space down here for the illustration of the actual cover, and I didn't want to sacrifice that space. This was a page of me working out heads. I think I already showed this stuff And this was like an earlier design that I might still use a little bit for before he gets to the arena. I don't know, we'll see. This I showed you guys, it's nothing much yet. I'm still working on that. This was pretty cool. So what I did, let's see if I can kind of show you guys. These are not 100% my drawings here. Let's see. So I can show you that I drew over a bunch of old Sal Buscema and John Buscema and other people. There might be some Kirby in there. There's a pit there, but just a bunch of old style Hulks, because that's about the size and shape of Thumper, the old school style. So it was kind of a fun exploration just to even play with the shapes, get the shapes going and stuff, and the gestures, and see what the proportions might be. And this right here, I was mapping Thumper's kind of clothing onto these different designs, but at this point I hadn't 100% come up with the design, but it's getting closer. And here is like closer to the 100% design. I actually really like these colors. I kind of inverted the leg colors so that the bright colors in the middle and the darker colors in the sides. I think I like that better. I don't know. What do you guys think? There's a little bit pink going on here, which is a little different for a kind of a big macho hero guy. So, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's girly pink necessarily, which, whatever. Just observations. So yeah, it was fun to kind of map my character over other people's drawings. Obviously, this isn't something that, I would put it in a sketchbook, but I would kind of put the reference drawings next to it to just show the process of me kind of figuring out this character's proportions and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. And then this happened last week. Most of what I did last week was work on thumbnails, and it took me a long time, longer than I thought, but that I would like to. It basically took me a whole week working, a half an hour at a time. I did miss one day for the funeral that we had a funeral, but other than that, I spent at least a half an hour, sometimes more like an hour or so. And then on the weekend, I spent a lot of hours actually. I don't know total how many, maybe 6 total or something. But this is all the thumbnails for the whole big Rath comic. It ended up expanding a page, mostly because this page became a double page spread, sort of, even though it's not like full double page. There's panels in there, but similar. So because of that, I kept trying to reduce the pages, like see if there was ways I could catch up and keep it at the smaller size, but I actually like it better this way because at the end there's like a page reveal. Not that it's a super big surprise or anything. Nothing huge is revealed. I mean, there is something revealed by the dialogue, but the actual imagery isn't really a huge reveal, but whatever. So, the whole comic is right here. Thank you, Scott Serklin, for he put up a video recently about thumbnails. I've never fully thumbnailed a comic before. I always kind of give up and just start drawing the comic, and I kind of do my thumbnails on the actual page. I'll do this rough version, and then I'll draw over that with more tight pencils and tighter pencils, and then do inking and eventually get to a finished product. That's how I've done it previously, but I did like the idea of having the whole book on one page for you to reference and stuff, so that is helpful. I feel like what I'm doing when I'm thumbnailing is planning out the page, but a lot of these panels will end up being way different. Even the whole layout could be different, you know. It's also kind of like a shortcut to the script. Like, it's all on this page, and I wouldn't be surprised if I kind of lose track of the script, because when I make comics, a lot of times I kind of do. I'll just start working and I kind of know what's going to happen anyways, and then sometimes I actually leave out stuff that's important by accident. So I need to probably try to make sure I'm keep reading the script as I'm making these, because there have been times where I've missed stuff, but maybe doing this thumbnail stage actually helps me to not miss stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I still need to get some designs done, even mostly just Amali I need to get done. Amali and Thumper and Mr. Skivs. Mr. Skivs hasn't been designed at all, but he's just like not a very important character. But those are the three that I need to get the first 5 pages done, I think. Yeah, I mean, and I think I also need Icarus, which I already have pretty much locked down. One thing, I was reading the Eternals. I was reading the Eternals this weekend, the first 2 issues by Jack Kirby. And, I don't know if I have both of those issues or not. I can't remember. But I have a lot of the Eternals issues, the old ones, originals. And, I was reading it online, though. And, I really, I've always been inspired by the art, but, reading that story, I was like, okay, I kind of can see why Kirby by himself wasn't as popular as Kirby with Joe Simon or Kirby with Stan Lee sometimes. It's not that he wasn't a good storyteller, but these comics were probably more aimed for kids, I guess. Although at that time when the Eternals came out, I'm pretty sure they were really dipping into the college market more. So, I don't know. But even still, it was cool, but what it was like the first 2 issues was a lot of really interesting story, world building. But it wasn't really much story. I don't feel like I'm invested in the characters that much yet. So I don't know if that's how it goes for the rest of the series. I think there's about 11 books in that series. So we'll see. And I also went through what is it? Why can't I think of it? It's one of his books over in DC, the one with the team of characters. Why can't I think of it? It's not New Gods. What was it? I'm drawing a blank. It's the one with there's like the big hairy guy and the woman, the girl's name. She's the Beautiful Dreamer is her name, I guess. I really but it looks really fun. There's more action to it. It looks like the team gets trapped a lot. And it looks like there are other characters that take over the book. It looks like there's a lot less action than you would expect. It's kind of weird. But I didn't read it yet. I want to read them because they do look fun. So there's a lot of Kirby comics that I've collected that I haven't read yet. So I'm kind of going through some of that. I just like reading old comics. I'm trying to get a feel for that because I think I want to make a lot of my comics that in that kind of style of writing and storytelling. Bronze Age, anything Bronze Age and before. I like the even the old stuff like that, like the beginning of comics, the stuff that's in the public domain and stuff. I really love that kind of stuff too. So I like thought bubbles. I like narrative. Um, Things that narrate the panels and stuff. I think that that actually does add to the comics. It adds a little something, um, because sometimes it would, you'd have the caption and it would say, so and so is doing this, blah blah blah, and then the picture would show so and so doing this, blah blah blah, and then the character would be saying, I'm doing this, blah blah blah. Like it would be like shown three different I think Stan Lee was kind of a big he did that a lot. But there also were times where the captions were like they added like kind of narrative description like you would read in a book. They added a little bit of flavor to like spice and flavor to the panel that helped you bring you in a little bit more. Like it gives you not only you see the visual, but you kind of can feel it and taste it and smell it. With the other senses, it would kind of invoke those senses a little bit more. And I think that's something that you don't really see as much in comics these days. It's kind of like show don't tell. That's like the mantra you hear with writing and with comics and stuff. And I think that you're missing out on something if you don't throw in some description, because you can only do so much with image sometimes. Like I feel like narrative really can help. So I don't know. I really enjoy that. Even Kirby did that, in some of the stories. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. And I will say, like, I really don't want to downplay though Kirby's work, because like I feel like it was like a little bit for a little bit more mature audience. Like I feel like a little kid reading the Eternals might like start to get bored and be like, well, yeah, it's cool, but like I don't know. I feel like they didn't have a good storyline to kind of grab onto. But at the same time, the world building is awesome. Like he goes into the ancient mythology of the Incas and really the world and the gods and there's like kind of conspiracy theory type stuff in there, and it's you could tell he was deriving his ideas off of some pretty interesting things, and kind of imagining what might be the reasons for some of these things, that's really fun, and the visuals, that he puts forth is really fun and interesting. And it's just so imaginative. I mean, everybody knows who Jack Kirby is and what he does. I also really love, at that point, he was really in that Kirby-esque style that he's kind of known for, where it's more about shape than it is about anatomy, and it's more about design and power than it is about trying to get things perfectly rendered and right. So I don't know, really awesome stuff to look at and read. Just lacking in story, to a certain degree, and hopefully that's just the first two issues and they start moving into something more within the next few issues. I'm going to probably just try to read through that and then maybe go back to the Forever People. That's the one. That's the one I was trying to think of. And then read that, and I'll probably go through all the things. I know that I read through OMAC at one point, but I want to read through it again. That one's really cool. Another world building. I mean, that's what's really awesome about Kirby. I don't know. I just freaking love Kirby. So anyways, I think I'm going to let it go at that. That's kind of what I've been up to this week. I have to finish designing Amali, and I guess I have to for Big Rath, and then I guess um, I think I can start working on pages, actual pages this week, penciling. Again, just to remind, this is working on Big Rath. It's a team book started by Peter Palmiotti. He kind of pitched over to me like some thoughts and ideas and characters and stuff, and then I kind of took what he gave me and ran with it, created a few new characters myself, and then wrote a script to it. And I actually wrote an outline for 4 or 5 books, kind of an overarching story of like a 4 or 5 mini series. And I also really am trying in this story to have a full story, like you go from beginning, middle, end, all in 26 pages. That you could just read this and put it down and never read another one, or there's definitely a hook at the end that makes you like, okay, I can't wait to see more, type of thing. But it's not like a hook, like you don't get to get the resolution of what happens in this issue. You get the full story here, and then it hints towards something more. So that's kind of cool. So I'm really excited about this. So Peter Palmiotti kind of started it, and then I kind of just ran with it. So then I'm going to be penciling it, and then he's going to come in and ink it. And I have a feeling that I'm probably going to end up doing the coloring and lettering and just finishing it all up. And then we'll probably do the first 5 pages, or however many, I forget how many, Alterna wants, and we'll submit it to Alterna. I actually almost would rather crowdfund it, but I do want to submit it to Alterna, just even to see if I can get some feedback from Peter Samedi about it, and then move forward. And who knows, maybe they'll pick it up, and if they do, that'll be really exciting too. I'll definitely be down, but I almost kind of hope it doesn't make it, because I don't know, for some reason I really would like to crowdfund it, but if I do crowdfund it, I really want to get the whole book basically done first, and then once it's done, we can crowdfund it. So I don't know how long that'll take, but that's my thoughts, at least. I don't know. We'll talk. Me and Peter will talk and figure it all out. But other than that, it's always confusing because there's a lot of prominent Peters in my life. Peter Palmiotti, he's just an awesome creative dude, and we are working together on things here and there, and have always talked about working together. He's just like, a brother in arms in comics. Love working with him. And then Peter Samedi, again, like he's just like, to me, he's like the new Stan Lee of comics. I don't know, I don't have as much of a relationship with him, but there's plenty there. There's definitely been a lot of connections. He knows who I am, I know who he is, and I had him on my show. He's a cool dude, and I love what he's doing with Alterna. And then there's a new Peter in my life, the guy who's been in the Discord, and he actually, I'll put a link in the description. He has an IndieGoGo going right now, and you guys should definitely check it out. I've already read the first 2 issues. It collects 3 issues of this comic he's put together called Isolt. And it's kind of, it's just an interesting, fun comic, and this guy has been killing it with just making comics. He kind of started, I think he was, somewhat inspired by my videos. He came into the Discord, probably inspired by a lot of other videos as well. And, he just kind of took it with this kind of punk rock ethos. He took it and ran with it. And he's been, I think he's made like 8 or 9 comics or something, maybe even more. Since, and that was like late last year he started, and he's just been going at it like crazy, just making comics, mini comics, and this and that. I think Isolt is like 48 pages altogether, I forget, But you know, definitely check it out. I'm looking forward to the third part of the story in the full book when it comes out. So go to the IndieGoGo. Please support. Again, I'll put a link in the description. But yeah, Peter. It's Peter Seckler. You'll see. So that's another Peter. You know, in the realm of creativity. And the thing that's awesome about Peter too is he just fills up sketchbooks like nothing. And I saw him doing that, and he was like putting in prompts in the chats and stuff on the Discord to like kind of get everybody, mostly because they were just for him, but he put them for the benefit of everybody else as well. And so I was like, hey, let's do like a daily draw prompt. And he was like, yeah, I'm totally down. And ever since then, he's kind of been working with another guy, Sir Handsome, on the Discord, and they've been going back and forth creating prompts every day for a while now, and it's just awesome. I mean, he just did a whole week of prompts that caused whoever was following the prompts to begin and from start to finish make a mini comic. Basically, like each day was a new prompt that brought him closer to finishing a mini comic. And so now there's a few people, including him, who have made or are almost done making a whole comic just because of the prompts in that Discord. So anyways, there, and you can go back and do the prompts from before if you want. You know, you don't have to do the day that you're on, and it's just really cool what he's been doing in there. So yeah, other than that, this vlog is starting to go long, and I have to go to work. So yeah, hope you guys are having a great time right now and doing well with your comics. Stay safe. You know, the whole coronavirus thing's going on. You know, like I said, stay safe. I'm personally think it's being blown out of proportion a lot, but at the same time, it is a virus. It is something to be careful about. So yeah, do your thing. Make sure you try to find some toilet paper somewhere. I actually found some yesterday because we were running low and we hadn't stocked up like everybody else. But I went to like 8 stores yesterday for just different various things that we needed that we couldn't find, and there was at least 1 or 2 things I couldn't find, but toilet paper I actually did happen to find somewhere, which was surprising. So so we're all good there. Just if you were worried, we're good in the toilet paper department right now. All right, anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.